Okay, just tell me when we're ready and I'll start, okay? Well, do they ask questions along the way? That'll be fine. I think that'll be a
Okay.
good way to do this.
Yeah. Hit the live button.
Okay, you'll let me know when the 15 minutes are up.
Yes. Backwards.
No, we are live, guys. We are live. Right now, we are live.
You'll let me know when the 15 minutes are up.
Secondary time backwards or forwards.
It's okay, Zarif, as long as we can get some people across the.
Secondary time backwards or forwards.
Haji, we are live.
We are
Yes.
live.
Okay,
Uncle, we are live, yes.
all right. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Yes, Uncle.
Okay,
Yes, you're
folks. I'm Larry Pesavento. I'm here in Tucson, Arizona. I've been trading since 1959. That makes it 63 years, believe it or not. And I'm doing the same thing I've been doing every day since I was old enough to put these charts up, which was about 1960, I think, is when I really got started into it. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. But what I'd like to share with you, give you a little bit of my background. I have a BS degree in pharmacy and a master's degree in business and a master's degree in statistics. I also have a nursing degree. I was a scrub nurse in college to pay my way through college. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry for 10 years as I was trading, and by the 10th year, I was making more trading than I was as a business person. And so I said, well, this is going to be my livelihood. And so that's what I did. I worked for Drexel Burnham for 6 years during 1976 to 1982. In 82, I went to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange because they were getting ready to start the S&P 500, and I knew that was going to be an absolute monster. And so I started down in the pits there, and I stayed there for about 3 years, and then I went to work for Conti Commodity Corporation, Princeton, New Jersey, for a couple of years, and then after that, I knew that I didn't have to work for anybody after that, so I said I'll just continue to do this for myself. So that's basically what I did. So now, is there any question? I hear some noise in there. Do you have any questions going on?
No.
Everybody can hear me okay?
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. Anyway, I've done a lot of different things, but I've been doing this for just a very, very long time. What I do, folks, the strategy that I employ is called a pattern recognition swing trading, and these are swings that you're seeing on this chart here. These are all swings, and all I believe is I follow this swing known as the ABCD. This is the fractal analysis. This was brought out by Benoit Mandelbrot. I've been up all night, Zuri, because the markets have been so active. So if I slur a few words, you have to bear with me here. But we had this is the S&P. You can see we had a beautiful ABCD pattern right here at the top. Then we had to move back. There's your C point for looking for ABCD. We're looking for the market to bottom somewhere down in this area. Now, last night, you'll notice here, we took out this low from right here and this low from right here. And we didn't take this low out, but we did take these two lows out. And boy, the market just took off. We're trading way up into this area already today. Now, as we get into this, it shouldn't get any higher than the last swing we had. So the last swing we had would be right up here, which is at 44.10. So if you exceed 44.10, then these don't count anymore because the sequence has been broken. But right now, that's what we're looking at. But that's that. But I'll just go through a couple of these things and show you how some of these things work. The one that we happen to be in right now, and I'll get this up here. This was a trade we had for today. Does that chart show now easily?
Yes.
Oh, boy, that makes it real easy for me, Zarif. Thank you. Here's the gold chart going back several months. Here's the ABCD. This is the low from right back here. So there's your A leg. There's your B leg. It breaks $100. It goes up to this level right here. You can see how close it was to the exact high within about $15. Then the market breaks down and then rallies up to a 382 retracement and makes an A, B, C, D. Today, the low today was 1908.80, and we were buying at 1911. We're now trading at 1927, I believe now. So now our stop is at break even, and we'll just let to see how the thing goes because now we're in a free trade. We don't have to put any money up at all. I mean, you got a contract that's worth $190,000. That's as close as you can get to risk-free trading. Now, when we got to this area, we didn't know that it was going to stop there. We assumed that it would because it was a 61% retracement of this move right here and a 1.618 expansion of this move right here. Plus, it was an A, B, C, D. That means we had three factors to tell us that this could be a very, very good spot to be a buyer of the gold. And so that was the reason why we bought the gold. All this is outlined in my book, Trade What You See, if you have an interest in that. But if you have an interest in this type, let me get this up here so we can do this correctly. If you have an interest in learning why these ABCD patterns work, the thing that you should probably look at would be the Floor Trader's Handbook. This encompasses how all this stuff works and the mathematics behind it. It's quite simple. You add, subtract, multiply, and divide, but it will prove to you empirically that these things work. I mean, do they work all the time? No, they don't, but they work better than 60% of the time, and that's the key. That book usually costs $297, and I'll give you a 50% discount if you're interested. It'd be $144. It comes with a 90-minute video and 90 pages of written material describing what you're doing when you're doing these things, and that's what's really great. And then also, if you don't have the Trade What You See book, I'll throw that one in free. So let's move on, and we'll do a couple other of these because all I do is charts, folks. I do ABCD on everything I do. Now let's take a look here. Here's one that was very interesting here. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about, well, it wasn't even a few weeks ago. Hold on just a second here. I got to get up here. Whoa, shut the front door. Let me get this done here. Hold on. What did I do wrong? I came over here. I don't have to do anything, I think. You can see this okay, right?
Yes.
You can see the crude oil?
Yes, oil is here.
Okay. Now here's a perfect example in the crude oil. Up at this level right here. Now this is a 60-minute chart because you can't see the other stuff back in here because I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. But after the high was made at 130, you see the market broke down and rallied up to this 382 retracement. It was 115.70, I believe, was the high. And we were expecting the market to come down to this level, which is 90. Well, we got to today, we broke this level. We got down as low as 92. So we're within about $3 of that price level, which will probably hit in the next day or so. But everybody that was so bullish up here, okay, after it breaks, $20 and then rallies up to here, this is telling you that something's wrong. If this was really bullish, it should have expanded beyond the 382 up into this area right here. And then you've got something to hang your hat on. So that's why you want to pay very close attention to that 0.382 level. It's just absolutely a money maker. Okay, now let's get on to something that you guys watch, which I guess is the Bitcoin. Get this up here right now. Most of you folks that know me know that I bought 100,000 shares of Bitcoin when it was 50 cents a share, folks. I put 50 cents in it, or $50,000 in it. And after it moved $1, I got out with a $5,000 profit. Now, I'm just teasing you. I didn't buy any Bitcoin. I've never bought a Bitcoin with the exception of Cardano. I bought that at 6 cents a share and I got out of it at 2 something, but that's the only time I've ever done anything. But this is what Bitcoin's been doing. What we're doing now, I'll just show you the ABCDs because I imagine most of you folks are new to this, but look at this. There's your low here. There's A, B, C, D. That gets you to this top right here. Look at this. This is called a 3 drive to a top pattern. There's drive 1, there's drive 2, and there's drive 3, and you have a nice A, B, C, D right in it. Okay, and then after the question,
yeah, can I jump? Last year, I know your 3 drive. I'm your student, as you know, and I called the top and warned my followers. And thanks to you, I could call this top, and then we are out at 62.5, and then we got back in like 30,000 or something. And
right to 31,000. That was a 618 retracement right there, 31,000.
Yeah, exactly. This is how I called the top of the Bitcoin, and also again, when it goes all-time high back, then again I was out at 62.5, but it climbed all the way up to 69, but it's okay.
Look at that. There's a perfect A, B, C, D there. Okay, then it makes a slightly higher high. That just cleans out all the stops up here, giving them just like it gives them false hope right here. And it goes just a tiny bit above it. But you don't know that that's going to be the high. But once it goes below this level right here, you know you got it right. Because if it was really good, it would have kept on screaming to the upside, but it did not do that.
Yeah.
So that tells you that look at these folks. You can't make this stuff up. This move here, okay, was equal to that move right there. You talk at one of the biggest markets in the world, the cryptocurrency. This is a big one, of course, Bitcoin. But look how beautiful this has got a chance to really be a moneymaker, Zarif.
Yeah.
You've got a potential for an A, B, C. The 382 is right here. Look how close that came to the exact 382, and we're down here. If we go below here, Bitcoin's going to do an A, B, C, D.
From 19,
and when it gets to 19,000, bet everything you got on it, because it'll go to 100,000 after that. So this is going to be really, really big. The reason why is if you take this number, write this number down. We'll just have a little fun here for kicks and giggles, okay? This number was roughly 68,000 or 69,000, okay? The low that we made back when we had this one down here at 31,000, this was, I wanted to get the one at 31. The actual low where this thing was way down here at 3,100. So take 69,000 minus 3,100. Do that for me. I better do it myself, otherwise I'll get all screwed up. Hold on a second here. Since I'm being paid so handsomely for this, I can do this from there.
35.
Yeah. Hold on. Just a second. I got my am I on video now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show you folks my secret computer, but don't tell anybody about it, okay? It's a good one. Hold on. So we go 69,000 minus 3,100. That equals 38. Oh, no, that's not right.
Oh, 65,900, Uncle Larry.
Yeah, 65,000. Let's call it 66,000, okay? 66. And we do that. And we think times 0.786 equals. Yep. It's going to drop 50. It's going to go to 19,000. What that is, it's going to be a 78% retracement of that move down here. It'll be down right about here, right about 19,000. Where's it at? See if it'll come right to about right there. See that? That right there?
19.
That's right about 19. That's going to be the A, B, C, D pattern right here. And that's just the same as this one, only turned upside down. That's the bullish one. This is the bearish one. You have a perfect A, B, C, D right there. And that's going to be 78% of that low back here at 3,100. And that, my boys and girls, is what we call Christmas Day in trading. What you want to do is to find yourselves a couple of really cheap ones, like some of the better ones that my good friend Mr. Jameson in the UK studies this, and he's the best there is. The ones you want to look at are Cardano, ADA, and Solano, and then also H-bar. He said those are three of the ones that we're looking. There's a few others, but those are the main ones, that we're looking at here. So that's the main thing to look at it. So, okay, now let me talk to you just a little bit about the wheat market, okay? Because we talked about the crude oil market, we've talked about the gold market. The wheat market is in the news quite a bit. Okay, now here is the wheat chart, and you notice here we started going limit up here back at $9. Okay, we had a nice sell-off, and then we went limit up here, limit up here, limit up here, limit up here. This means there was no trading, folks. This was a move where you went actually almost $4, $15,000 without any trading, and then the market started to trade. Well, look what happened. We had all this trading. We had this big move down. Then you came down to this level right here, and you went up to the exact 382 retracement, and we've been going down ever since. So that's why you got to pay close attention to this. So I hope that gives you a little bit of help. Because everything I do is based on these A, B, C, D moves, and if you look at them closely, you can figure out where they are: A, B, C, D, and there's little ones in here too. But I only look at the larger ones. Okay, now, any questions so far?
Arkadaşlar sorusu olan var mı? I'm asking in Turkish. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing, Larry, what do you think about instead of A, B, C, D, maybe A, B, B, D?
hold on just a minute, John. Just a minute. Hold on just a second. I got to answer something.
Okay.
Hey,
sure.
John, I'm doing a webinar right now. Okay, so can I get back to you in just a bit? Okay, I'll be right after this, buddy. Yeah. Bye. Bye. Okay, hold on just a second here. Let me get you back into the program here so I get this right. Where am I? I got to get back to this thing right here, I guess. No, that's not right. I got to go to this one. Okay. Now which chart did I just put up? I just put one up.
Wheat.
I can't remember.
Wheat.
Yeah, I did the wheat. Okay, I wanted to show you how that worked with the wheat. So, the question that I want to bring you said most of you people were interested in the Bitcoin stuff. Is that basically what you told me? That most of these people are Bitcoin people?
Bitcoin, oil, gold, silver.
Okay, we already did the gold. The gold started to work.
I was asking a technical question.
Sure.
About the pattern. So I know you're using ABCD pattern very often.
Yes.
What do you think about the ABBD pattern?
I think somebody gave that a name. I don't remember what it was. Any of these patterns work if you let me pull you one up and I'll show you why they work. I'll just real simple enough.
Yeah.
Okay, here's let's do well, I got Bitcoin. Well, that's
because
Alibaba.
I'm using ABBD most of the time.
No, I'm not familiar with that. What it is, I just do ABCDs. That's really well. Here's one here. Let's take a look at. Here's copper. Let's get copper up here. Here's copper. Here's the high we made in copper at $5. I just did a 60-minute because your market comes down, it rallies up to a 78. There's your A, B, C, D. The first rally back. Where did it stop here? At 471, and we're trading way down here right now. So that's basically what we're looking at. There's other ABCDs in here. There's smaller ones, A, B, C, D, right at a 382. That's an ideal situation because you got three things to tell you that you're on the right side. One, you're trading with the trend. You got a downward trend, and you got an A, B, C, D into a downtrend. Okay, it's stopping right at the 382. Perfect A, B, C, D. And now you're heading down. So those are the ones that you want to get. We have multiple things coming together. When you only have one or two things, not so good. But when you do it with a whole bunch of things, then it's a whole lot better. Now, as you look at these patterns through here, you're going to see A, B, C, Ds all the way. You see, but you've got to be able to practice these things. And believe me, that's the problem. People just are gosh darn lazy. I had to beat your head into the desk, didn't I, to get you to do this stuff when you first started? Do you remember how hard-headed you were?
Well,
I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm just telling you the truth.
Keep throwing, Attila. You always say, "Oh,
I did everything but throw vegetables at you."
I was asking,
but you finally got it. See, he kept trying to look for perfection, folks, and that's not there. You're not going to find perfection in any of this. You're going to get the odds in your favor. And let me tell you the whole secret to this, and that is you have to think like a winner. A winner thinks, how much money can I lose? What's my downside? A loser thinks, how much money can I win? That's why when you go into a casino, you see all these highly beautiful lights and the 4 7s coming up and $10 million here, $5 million here, win $1 million there. Nowhere on those damn machines does it tell you you have no chance of beating me. And nowhere does it tell you that I take in $1.2 million more than I give out every year. They don't tell you that, do they? No. So it's just like in trading. They don't tell you that either. You got to figure that out yourself. So that's what these patterns do, is they help you do that. I mean, I think it's important. How many people in the room here have seen my presentation on where all this stuff comes from? How many people have seen? Because maybe it's been a while since I've shown anybody. So I did.
The last time, Kalari, you did the live webinar with us was 30th of November last year.
Did I do it? Did I do the show? I don't think I did the PowerPoint.
You did the presentation, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so two folks. And the other one also is a lot of the folk from India and Pakistan and Africa and everywhere is all like Forex traders.
Okay, well, Forex is just as good as any. That there's no other question. Here, let's just since we can do this live, let me get one of these live up here right now, and let me get up here to.
And also, Uncle Larry, if you can give them the basis, like a little crash course on how to find the ABCD patterns. Yeah, like
sure. Here, all right. Here's right now. Let's just go here right now.
And your magic Fibonacci sequence numbers. How?
No.
That's what I ought to do is I ought to just do the doggone. Well, let's just do this right now, and we'll just. This is that because I trade the euro almost every day. The first thing I do when the euro, I come in, I take the low from the lowest day, a high from the highest day, and I want to see the retracement. The retracement here came in at 109.27. That was within 15 pips of where this is. Okay. Now looking at this today, automatically I can see A, B, C, D. Now let's just for kicks and giggles, we'll just draw this in because this is what you should do. This was what I had to force Attila to do. Had to almost go to Turkey and beat it into his desk. But fortunately, his lovely wife said, "You're going to do this or I'm leaving you." Is she still with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. There's A, there's B, there's C. So if AB equals CD, this red line should match that line. So you take this over. Look at that. Shut the front door and raise her in. How hard is that? And I've got a little tool here that'll actually draw it in, and we call that a Gartley pattern. There's your ABCD, and there it is. Didn't quite make the 618, but it made the ABCD. See, the 618 comes in, within 2 pips of the high, but there's your perfect ABCD. You can see it just as clear as a bell. So that's the main thing that you want to be watching here. Okay, you understand that? Okay, now let's do this a little more. We'll go into a 4-hour chart and find some more. Now, here's the one that we were waiting for. This is a 4-hour chart. Now, we were waiting for this one. We haven't gotten there yet, but we may still. But with this move like this, with this move down like this, high probability that we're going to get here. The reason why is, let's just clean that one out right here. Got that low right here. And that didn't make the 618. So what we're assuming now is that this move right here, A, B, C, D, is going to take us down to this level right here. So there's first one is here, A, B. Well, let's just draw both in. What the heck, since we're doing this together. There's A, B, C, D. See, we missed that one by quite a bit. That didn't quite come in. We made this one on the upside, okay? So that means we have, and like I said, it doesn't work every time, but this one should work because you've got several things going for it. You got A, B, C, D, and look where it's going to come in here, right at the 78% level, right there. That's the original one that we were thought. See, here was a 618, there's a 786, but this is better because it's going to be an exact number of this move right here of A, B, C, D. Now look, this move took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days to get there. Now we got a big move down here, then we went sideways. So watch this thing in 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to watch this on Friday down here at this level. That's where you'd want to be a buyer of the euro, because if you buy it here, your stop has to be just a little below this, and then you've got something that you can hang your hat on. Do you all see that?
Yep.
I can hear the sound of clapter in the background. Yes. Hold on. Let's look at it. Let's look at a long-term chart on the euro, and you'll be able to see some of these same things here. Here's the same thing on the euro. Well, I got too much stuff on here, but I'll show you. Well, I got to show it to you because you don't understand. This is where we're going in the euro, by the way, is down here at 106, 106 and change. That's our ultimate objective, is right in here. But here's what happened to the euro. We had this move up. First of all, the market makes a high here and comes down, and then makes a 1.618 expansion to this spot right here. Then it starts down, A, B, C, D, a big, really hard A, B, C, D to the downside, stop to the 61, goes right, this is a weekly, goes right here to the exact 382 on the weekly at 114. Took 1, 2, 3 weeks to get there, stopped dead in its tracks, and now we're heading down to this level right here. But the euro is so actively traded, you can trade it, gosh darn, on any time frame. This happens to be a weekly, but the patterns are the same. If you were to look, you can just see the patterns here. If you were to draw this in on the weekly basis, you can see there's your A, B, C, D pattern right there. There's your B leg, A, B, C. So D's got to be up there. You just march this up there, and there it is, within 50 pips of the high. And not many people can do it that way, but if you do have pattern recognition, it can certainly be that way. I hope that helps.
Yeah, Larry.
Yes, sir.
Somebody requested dollar try.
The what?
Dollar Turkish lira.
The Turkish lira. This is only English speaking. I got it here because of you, Attila. So just a minute. Don't yell at me. I got it here.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not it. Hold on. There it is. TRY. That's right. That's the old Turkish lira.
Yes,
I haven't looked at this in months, so let's take a look here.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
It's still getting the hell beat out of it, isn't it? Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, it just made a 61% retracement up here.
Yes.
See, I put this in last time, I guess, when it was, the last time I looked at it was back in here somewhere, and all I did was draw this in, and you can see the number is at 115.18, and the high has been 115.05. I missed it by 3 pips. That's pretty good.
Not missed yet.
Yeah, it's not finished yet, that's for sure. But there's a little bit, at least the craziness has stopped. Now, to figure out the craziness, you've got to go back all the way back here. And this is a tremendous blow off move. You have no idea when something like that is happening. But your first idea that something is wrong is right here. Let me show you why. Oh, let's get this right. This is what I want to put it right there. You know that there's something wrong right there. And let me show you why that's, shucks, I got to move it a little bit bigger so we can see it. Shut the front door.
That's the anomaly, right?
Okay. Yeah. You see the 1.618 expansion here. Once we go above that's the green light or the red light, any way you want to look at it, because you need to see that once it goes through there, this thing is on its way and you just want to stand inside. That's what happened to gold in the past 3 or 4 weeks. We cleared this 1.618 at 1910 on the going up. We went all the way to 2060, and then of course we came back to 1910 again. But see, that just keeps running and running and running until the final blow off happens. But it's really hard to trade this because there's no pattern in here that gives you any indication that this is really something really crazy. So you got to be watching that one very, very closely too.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah, that's fine.
Any others that you might want to look at on the foreign currency side? I could do that if you want. We could look at those.
Loonie,
Silver, maybe.
The what? They got to be related to the U.S. dollar, but I don't do some of the. See, I basically trade the big six. I trade the euro, the pound. I trade the euro every day. I trade the pound about 3 times a week. Canadian dollar maybe once a month. Australian dollar twice a week, and the British pound maybe twice a week. But because I'm so busy doing gold and crude oil, those are my favorites, and the grains and stuff. So those are the ones that I'm watching the most closely. So.
Uncle
How about the silver?
Silver?
Yeah.
I can do silver. Sure. Silver's a good one. Just a second. I just got to pull it up here.
Uncle Larry, in your platform, do you have like the Indian ones like Bank Nifty, for example? No. I have no idea. I've seen charts on it, but I don't know anything about it. Here's the reason why the silver stopped. You see the 78% retracement from here down to here came in right there. At 27.30 was supposed to be the high in silver. That was a 78% retracement. And the high on silver was 27.39. It missed it by 9 cents. But what's interesting now, you see we've had this big break from 27.60 down to 25. We dropped $2. But the fact that it's from this low here Oh God, this thing is getting to be so bullish. We went a little below the 382, and now we're seem to be moving a little bit higher. It should hold this low if it's any good, because if you remember, we think these markets repeat over and over again. Didn't I mention that to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we had a big correction here, didn't we? Now, if you believe in the silver correction, you'd think the silver correction will not be any lower than this one right here. So that equals that. There's your low, almost. There's your low of the day. I'll clone that so you can see it, that it's the same as this one right here. See how the market repeats? That's what leads to these channels that people draw. They draw in a channel like this, okay, and then they clone it. And voila, look what happens. They're looking at exactly a channel. See that?
Yeah,
That's how these channels work. Okay, any others? Would you like for me to go ahead?
Uncle Daddy, if you can do the cable and loony.
I can't. The loonie is Australia?
No, USD CAD.
Oh, Canadian. I can do the Canadian just a minute here.
And
okay, we'll do the Canadian. Okay, I'll get it up here. Well, I got some screwed up data on this. This should never be like this. I don't know what. Hold on just a minute here. Yeah, there, it's fixed now. I have a little data problem. Okay, here's the ABCD and the Canadian down here. There's your A, there's your B, there's your C, there's your D. Then the market rallies up, goes all the way up to here. Now watch these numbers. Watch. From your high to your low, it goes right up to the 78% level right here. And then when it sells off, it goes right up to the 61% retracement on the downside. So it's just acting pretty good. Now, what it looks like we're getting ready to do now is we've been up in this area. We've been there 1, 2, 3, 4 times, including today, and not getting through us tells us that the Canadian's most probably getting ready to sell off. That's what it looks like. But anything above here, of course, we're going to go sharply higher. But that's what we're watching here in the Canadian. You can do this on the weekly too. You'll see it has some really nice numbers down here. I'll get this up here because hold on a second. We have there's the original of the Canadian. See where I had important support. This was going back in early January. This was a really good buy. This is known as the 1-3-5 pattern. We have higher bottoms that match up. And if you drew a trend line, you're basically, that's how trend lines are formed also. I can see just by looking at this, I can see a small ABCD pattern right here. There's your AB leg here. And that tells you they're really close to a bottom down here. There was your bottom. And let's just do it again one more time to get you used to it. Count the number of days from the high. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days down. So I don't know which of these are all the same. So I'll just pick the middle one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it stays there. On the 8th day, it stays there for till 10 days. And then it never goes any lower. So that tells you the ABCD is good. So this was major support. And this is where we are right now as we're looking at it.
Okay, the next one was the dollar index and crude oil.
Yeah, Dixie.
Crude oil?
The dollar index and the crude oil.
DXY, Dixie.
I got DXY here. That's no problem.
Yes.
And then what's the other one?
Oil.
Crude oil?
Please.
Sure.
And also comes after that, E-mini S&P.
Yes.
Oh, E-mini S&P. Sure, I'll do the best I can. Yeah. Okay, now this is the dollar index. You'll notice that what it's done here is we took this whole swing, and when you put the numbers in, the two things you want to look at is watch for your ABCD right here and look at your 1.618. But folks, this is not bearish. You see this? How it's hanging right up in here like this? The last little pullback, just a very, very shallow pullback. And I think it barely made the 382 right on the money. This, until it gets below here, this is one bullish thing. And if you look at this on the weekly, you'll see why. Because we're way above the 618 number. See how the ABCD patterns have been working perfectly, and then all of a sudden, boom, it goes through the 618 number, and it's been above it for 1, 2, 3 weeks now. That's a bullish sign. That means it's going to at least here and maybe a whole lot higher, but that's what you're looking at here. What was the next one? Crude E-mini?
Crude oil
E-mini?
And if you can say a little bit about the Jim 20 man 135 pattern, sir.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's get that up here.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay, here's where we are here. Here's the E-mini here. This is the low. Let's just get down to a tradable thing. We'll go down to a 15-minute chart so we can watch it for a little bit. Well, I think we better use a half hour. Hold on just a second here. Get rid of this. This damn thing. Well, let me get to a half-hour chart. Wow, we've rallied 110 handles from the low that we made last night. Let's get this up here because this was an important low. Let me show you why. The easiest way to do this would be to move this over like this. We took out this low of the 8th by just a little bit. You see that? We just took out that low. So we're having a really strong rally. We've already made 50% of that last move in just a short period of time. And that sure tells you that this thing has still a lot more to go on the upside. Now there's virtually, on this half-hour chart, you see there's virtually very small ABCDs. The only way you're going to see those is if you go down to, say, a 10-minute chart. This damn thing. Hold on just a second here. Delete all. Okay. You'd have to go down to a smaller time frame and look at it that way, because then you could see some small, you see these are just 10 minutes. So you have an A, B, C, D. So we'll just draw them in just to see if it follows the program. There's A, B, C, D. There it is right there. There's your A, B, C, D pattern right there. So now you have another A, B, C, D. You got your A here, your B here, your C, D leg came in right here. And then you could have another one that's forming right here. So you have get rid of that one. You have another A, B, C, D coming in up here a little bit higher here at the 42.66. So that's what we're paying attention to here this morning.
Previous top is also work like B as well. Previous top.
Well, I'm just using a 10-minute chart to show you the thing. But let's look at the hourly because we might be able to. Here's a perfect example. This is an hourly chart going back to the last time we had a major. Just to give you an example here, I send these out in the videos every night. But there's your 61% retracement of the high that we made back on January 4th. I already showed you that. We'll do that in just a second. But then you have an A, B, C, D here. Write that. We stay here for 1, 2, 3 times. It's a number. You come down, you make another 61% retracement with an A, B, C, D. And now you're having this big rally here today. How big this rally is? It's pretty big so far. It's already exceeded. Let's see, it's the 618 or the 382 of the whole thing here. Oh, I think that's where we are right now. That's kind of strange. So there's the 382. I don't think that'll stop it, but we'll see. And there's let's look at the small A, B, C, D pattern right here. This one I traded this yesterday. This was a really nice pattern because you had a perfect A, B, C, D. It's an hourly chart. There's A, B, C, D right on the money. And then if I just drew it in to check the ratios, it's going to be right at 50%, I believe. Oh, it's exactly 382. Maybe that's why I was interested in it. I don't know. I like ABCDs. Yep, exactly 382 of that. And then A, B, C, D. Okay, any others?
Nasdaq and Uncle Larry, somebody asked me last night, Rizwan asked me about, I think it's a share or something. It's called AMC.
That's a movie theater deal, isn't it?
Any ideas on that?
US equity stock.
It's a what?
Home entertainment.
USA.
AMC, Apple married.
Yeah, and
Charlie.
Chicago.
Apple married. All right, let's do that. Let me write it in. I have to add it. That's what I got to do here. It's AMC. And we got the daily up. Okay. Oh, this is one of those highly leveraged ones that goes nuts. Yeah. Oh shit. Have they ever kicked the shit out of this one? Oh my god. Oh,
Do you remember the Reddit guys? Reddit guys pumped this.
yeah. They pumped it till it wouldn't pump anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is one of those vertical ones. I remember this one went $500 in one day or something. Or no, that was another one that went crazy. But this was like it was back in the 2010.com. But you have your first ABCD here, which is right here, A, B, C, D. So if you just drew that in, and if people told you thought it would go to 31 when it was trading up here, they thought you were nuts. But there's your A leg, B leg, C leg coming in right at 61% retracement. Right down here, make a slightly lower low. Then you start making little ABCDs up all the way, and then down, A, B, C, D. Now, what you want to watch on this one is because this high looks like it's exactly 50%. Yep. It's right at, there's your 50%, and you got an A, B, C, D pattern in here. This is screaming, sell me, please sell me, is what it's saying. And then down it goes, and you'll see the first retracement back. Doesn't do very much. Again, probably right at the 50% or 61. And then still going down. Wow. Look at that. Okay. Hold on a second. I need a drink of water. Old people have to be hydrated well. Hold on. So just a second here.
You're a spring chicken still, Uncle Larry, not old.
Okay. Next.
Crude oil.
Crude oil. Liquid gold. Texas tea. Hold on just a second here. Get this up here out of the way.
Petrodollar.
Let me get these out of the way. And we did AMC. Okay, get that out of the way. Dollar index. We did that. And we did the Canadian. That's out of the way. And we did silver. That's out of the way. And we did the euro on the weekly, but that's all part of the other stuff. We don't have this anymore to mess with, so that's out of the way. And the euro is ready to go. And here's where we are. Let's see how the gold is working. See, we bought the gold here at 11. It got up to 33. You know, our stop is break even now, so that one's working okay. What's the other one that we had? Shut the front door. God darn it. God, I can't remember. Jeez, I'm so tired from bonds. Can I talk to you about bonds just a minute? Because that's a really big market. And then, hold on one second. Let me get up here. Get the old treasuries up. I've been bearish bonds since Jesus was born, and that was a long time ago. Okay, hold on. Let's get this bond chart up here. Okay. Yeah, we made pretty good support here. We've got the Fed coming in tomorrow, which won't mean very much, but this is the largest of all the commodity markets that we trade here, folks. It's much larger than, it's about 5 times larger than the crude oil market, 10 times larger than gold, 10 times larger than the S&P. It's just big, okay? Now, what I'm going to do now is we talked about that 135 pattern.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to give you the best of what I got. You know, I mean, I've got a lot of stuff. What I'll do is I'm going to do this PowerPoint presentation, and then I'm going to forward it on to you, Zarif. You can share it with the people.
I will. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Uncle Larry.
and then I'll give them a book. I'll give them the opening price book, free. That's a $100 book, and then I'll also give them a book called The Trading Essentials. It's not what you think, it's how you think, because you have to change your thinking when you're trading. You got to think like a loser. Excuse me, so try it the other way around. You got to think like a winner. You know, think how much money can I lose versus how much money I can make. That'll first turn it around, okay?
Okay, Uncle Larry, if you just give me one moment, yeah? Just to shout it to everybody. Listen, everyone. Uncle Larry me, you, and thousands of people, if you put them all together, could not afford him, right? His time is very valuable. And
Oh,
today,
see, my time. Let me
today,
see. My
and
time is
today,
valuable.
today's help and charitable mood, he, instead of us paying him, he's paying you. He's giving you stuff free. So the least thing you can do is write a proper testimony.
No, I don't
say,
want it. Hey, I'm too old for testimonials. I don't need
no,
that.
but at least a thank you, which I will collect and I'll
I
send
think
to you.
I don't even need a thank you, Zarif. You doing it is enough for me because you try and help everybody. So don't bother to thank me. I don't need that. That's
See,
not
see the caliber of the man.
the
Otherwise,
the problem that you have when you give something free to somebody, they don't value it.
It's worth-
And
it's
that's the
worth
problem. But this is valuable stuff if you like technical analysis and pattern swing trading.
True.
So here's what we want to get into. You see, you have the beautiful 1, 3, 5 pattern. And I'm going to show you what that is. Basically, it's from this high to this high is equal to this high and this high. Okay, makes sense. So let's just see how close it was. And I haven't done this on T-bonds for a very long time. From this high to that high, you see it's not quite right. See, you'd like to see it come in here, but what you want to have is the ratio. You like to have the ratio come in exactly where it's supposed to be. And there's your 1.618 retracement is right there within 2 ticks of the exact high. And look what it did. It dropped $8,000 in 4 days. Okay. Now you can see the ABCD patterns all along. Okay. Now I'm going to shift to a weekly here just to show you what they tried to do to you when they were doing this on the weekly basis. All right. Here's the low. Here's the high. There's the ABCD. There's your 382 retracement right there. See it? See how bullish that was at that point? You remember 2 years ago when the whole world says, oh, you've got to go to negative interest rates. That's the greatest thing in the world. To me, that was the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my 60 years of I tried to tell people that, and they would give me all this excuse about inflated dollars and stuff. And I said, will you do it? Oh, no, I won't do it. I said, well, nobody else will do it either. But these big sovereign banks and stuff did it, and they got their head handed to them. Because that's stupid. I mean, you're gonna give somebody your money, okay, and you have to pay them for holding that money. And not only that, but they're not giving you any guarantee that you're going to get it back. Boy, that's a really good deal, isn't it? What I did, I showed my grandson, 3 years old, but he wanted some candy. And I said, I'll hold the candy for you, but it's my candy. I'll hold it for you. When can I have it? I'm not sure. Will I ever get it back? No, that's not fair. Not fair, he would say. And so it's the same thing with this. Look at this. The market goes, makes a 382 retracement. We're still going down, folks. Look at this. The price objective on this thing is 1. You won't believe it, but it's really hard to believe. Let's get this up here. See them stop. It's down here. 120, 119. Where is it? There it is. Right about there. Hold on. Let me draw this in because they're gonna make interest rates go higher. This is not a good situation. There's A, B, C, D. And there's your 127. We're going down about another 20 grand down to this area is where we're going. Now this is the 135 pattern. I just want to show it to you now. What I'm going to do now is let me see how I can do this without making a fool of myself, which is I can do that, I think. Hold on. Oh, wait, I know how to do it. Just a second. I go to here. No, that's not where I want to go. I want to go here and there. And I got to get up into my right here. Stay with me here. I don't need that. Hold on a second. I'll do it this way. And I go to compose. And I go to here. Bear with me a second. And then I go up here. I think I got it in this thing somewhere. No, let's do this right here. There it is right there. Remind me to get this to you, Charisse. Oh, you know what? I'm going to send it to you right now. And then you can forward it on to the people, okay?
And even if you send them after, I'll give it to everyone that has come here, sir.
Okay, all right, this is it. I send it out to you right now. Oh dear, now what? I got to get it back up there again. Okay. I'm so technically challenged. It's just unbelievable. Did any of these folks, have they seen the article by Tom Hugard, The Best Loser Wins?
I'm not sure.
Boy, that
saying,
is really,
saying that Tom popped in, and before I blinked my eye, he was gone.
yeah, he's really busy. Yeah,
very-
he's
Also, I believe, Uncle, in a couple of weeks you are going to be in London. Yeah,
yes, I'm gonna be in London the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of London. That's where I'm gonna
I'm
be.
going
Now,
to
why
surprise you
doesn't
and come
this
and see you, sir.
say again?
I said I'm going to surprise you, and I'm going to come and see you, sir.
Okay. What does this say? Tell you a story. I don't want this. I gotta get rid of this, I guess. Okay. Let me show you this is a PowerPoint that explains the 135 pattern. This is a 3 drive to a top pattern. You see drive 1, drive 2, drive 3. It has also the A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, but this is a 1, 3 drive. Drive 1, drive 2, drive 3 to a top, okay? You've got another one here. There's drive 1, drive 2, drive 3. You can see the ABCDs all the way up. This happens to be the Australian dollar on a daily, okay? Now here is where it really gets exciting here. Now you have lower tops. Lower top, lower top, lower top. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. That's what you look for. That's the difference between the two patterns. Now go to the next chart. This shows you the 3 drive to a top pattern. When I draw it in color, there shows you the 1, 3, 5 pattern. That's the first thing that you look for. Then you go to the next one, which is number 3. This gives you the 1, 3, 5. This is the same one. This is the E-mini S&P. There's your 1, 3, 5 pattern. First thing you do, okay, you find this out, and then it gets you to the downtrend right here. Let me see, get that step 3, step 4. What you want to do is, after you get the 1, 3, 5 pattern drawn, you want to make sure that this high to this high is very close and that the ratios are very good. The ratios, are really very important. So you've got to look at that. So what you want to do is, after you've drawn that in, you put the ratios in. You see how the ratio comes up? They're both exactly the same ratios, a little bit. 88 is a fib number, but it's so rare I don't use it. I use 786. These are close enough. But you can see how this all fits together. And the first time after this bar, the first lower close you get from there is where you sell it, and then you just put your stop above here. Look at that small risk on an E-mini S&P. That's very little. See, so that's why that one is so very, very important. I think I got this right. Okay, this is 6. Okay, now your entry point is when you have the first bar after this pattern is in. That's your signal, and then you just write it down until you get your profit objective, and that one will be right next to me right here. Your profit objective will be the 1.618 of these numbers right here. There's your first one at 127, second one at 1.618. That's your profit objective. But it's a great pattern. We're going to go through some of these others to make sure that we get these right. Okay, that's number 8. Okay, now this is a T-bonds on a daily. There's your 135 pattern right here. See, I'm showing it to you right here. Your objective is down here. And I wanted to show you that this was a 382 retracement on the bonds. I had to put that in because it was so very, very important. But the other thing is, look, when the bonds are making the high, when they're feeding us all kinds of BS, right, about how great negative interest rates are, you take this leg here, that whole month, multiply it times 1.618, and it gives you the exact high. And if you multiply it by 2.618, it gives you the exact high. And you have an A, B, C, D pattern perfectly up here. This bonds were screaming at you to sell so much that they couldn't even hold their breath. They come down, they stop exactly at a 61% retracement. The reason why these numbers work so good in currencies and in the interest rates and the futures is because there's so many people trading them. That's why they're so good. It's not like, thing like tin or copper or lead or something like that. These things are actively traded. So the next one you want to look at is what happens. Here's another example. This happens to be the bonds again. 1, 3, 5. You can see the ratios are exactly equal. This is exactly 78% of here. 78% of here. The time between high, high, high. Your profit objective is down here or down here. One of those what you want to pick. But this is a heck of a pattern, folks. Okay, here's one in the that's the same one in bonds. Why did I go backwards? Hold on 1 second here. I don't think I did. Okay, now here's a 135 on the upside. This is bonds on the upside. There's 135 coming in right here. Okay, and you go to the next one. You'll see there was your 78% retracement here. This was 61% retracement of this one. Okay, so you've got two ratios coming in a beautiful time cycle. This is a 135 pattern. Just absolutely, you don't have to be rocket science. You take a little sheet of paper or back of an envelope and do this in, and you can do this without any trouble at all. It's you got to practice them. I mean, that's the bad part is you got to learn to do it. Okay, now here's we've got one just a little bit different. This one is a 135 pattern. There's your 1, there's your 3, and there's your 5. You look at the distance between 1 and 3, 3 and 5. You see they're perfect. The ratio here is 382. That means it's really bullish. That's why that NASDAQ was such a screamer for so many long. You see, this was 2017. We didn't top until last year. So that's a big one to pay attention to. Okay, and then the next one we want to look at is, now this is a 3 drive to a top pattern. There's drive 1, there's drive 2, there's drive 3. Just really good. You know, this is in February of 2017, right before COVID hit. About 2 years before COVID. But we went a little bit higher. We backed off, of course, but we also had a 135 pattern here. It was this one right here. There's 1, 3, and 5. That lined up relatively well. This is a 3 drive to a top pattern, though that's a totally different one. I should delete that slide because that's really not what I wanted to show. Okay, now here is the New York Stock Exchange Index. Okay, butterfly. Okay, here's why is this damn thing in here? I don't even see there's. Oh, here it is right here. Got a 1, 3, 5 pattern right there. Okay, this is perfect. First of all, you got the ABCD that completes, and then you come down and you make a 135 right at the 78% level, right at the 78% level. Then you go up and make your high here, 1.27, 1.618. This is a butterfly pattern, and it was right on a lunar eclipse. And we got a lunar eclipse coming up here pretty soon this month. I believe it is. Could be wrong with that. Okay, we'll move on to the next one here. What do we got? Oh, we got one more to go, I think, right? 2 more. Okay, here's a New York. There's a same thing. You see these multiple patterns in here with the same 135 pattern. Here's a 135 on the downside, and there's a 135. This is a 3 drive to a bottom pattern here. So this gives you a pretty good idea of what we're dealing with. And then the final one is we were watching this one. This is the Dow Jones when it was topping here in 2017, before we had the break after that. But you can see we had the same 1, 3, 5 pattern here with higher bottoms. You can see the cycles are very, very close together. That's a real. Then you got this type of movement here. Oh, this was the election. Yeah, this is when Trump got elected. Here it was November. We were a little bit down that night, and then as soon as the votes started coming in, we started getting unchanged, and then whoa, look out, away it went. All right, that's that one. All right, what else do you need to know, buddy? I'm here for another whatever you need me for. So
let's see. So any requests? İsteyen var mı arkadaşlar?
Do what?
Okay, just a second.
Anyone, any questions? What would you like to know? You want the lotto numbers for America? We can do that.
I have 17, 19, 36, 18, 5, and the lucky number is 4.
There you go.
But don't share it with anybody, okay? Because
No.
you have to split it, and that's not any fun.
Uncle Larry, Dharmil from India is asking about Wyckoff.
Yeah. Richard Wyckoff, he was a brilliant man. He did some great work. He was a good friend of H.M. Gartley. A lot of his stuff is related to swing trading. In fact, it all is. He didn't put the Fibonacci numbers in because he didn't know them. You know, the first guy to look at those was Elliott in 1938, 1940. That's when all these guys were doing this stuff. But Elliott only lived a few years, and he never really traded. You know, he wrote just a couple of small papers, and Fibonacci wasn't really into the news until late 60s when I first heard of it with John Hill. And then in 76, Bob Prechter wrote a book with Robert Frost, and that was the start of the Elliott wave theory. But I believe the Elliott wave theory is not 5 waves. It's 3 waves, A, B, C, D, because that's what Mandelbrot proved in fractal analysis. And I proved that in the Floor Trader's Handbook with 30,000 examples of the euro. And believe me, it is A, B equals C, D. It's real simple. You don't have to worry about, straight. Just look at A, B, C, D. That's all you have to look at. You don't have to worry about, is this a sub 5 or a 3-5 or a 2-5 or a 4 or 9 or whatever they use on those damn things. It's got too many waves, and they always have alternate counts, and this is an aberration of the alternate count. It's bullshit. It's very simple. I look at 4 ratios, folks. 382, 618, 786, 1.27, and 1.618. That explains everything that happens on this darn chart. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. Do I get it right every time? No. I don't expect to. I just move on to the next one. That's all. I hope that helps.
And the other one, Uncle Larry, because I hope you don't mind me asking you to do this. You don't have to. What it is if you can, I told these people, be careful of whose books you read or follow or something like that. And I remember the story you told me about Mr. Steve Nissen and the father of candlesticks. And
yeah, he tells you that right away. He's never traded, but he's written a great book, and he's good with standard.
There you go. And I believe you were, after some Forex symposium or whatever, you and Mr. Tom and blurted it out, huh? Oh, my God.
Yeah, we were in New York City at the Money Show, and he gave a nice lecture, and Tom wanted to meet him, and I knew Steve, so we offered Steve a free steak dinner in New York, so he took us up on, and we went out to dinner, and, Tom asked him, well, how much do you trade? He said, I've never traded, and Tom almost fell out of the chair. He said, well, how can you write a book on it? He said, well, I study it, I just don't trade it.
There you go.
And you give advice? No, I don't even give advice. And Tom says, I don't believe it. He says, well, that's what I do. He said, I don't make any bones about it. He says, that's just what I do. And the candles work. The reason why I use candles is I do time counts. I want to see when a market goes up, like a market goes up for 13 days, I want to see that it goes up for 13 days. See, so I'll count this. You see, I'll see the market at the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it was up 13 days, count down 3, so it should go up 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh my God, there it is, 13. Gee, that's really hard. By the way, that system's available for me for $3,000. Anybody that wants it, let me know, because I only have 2 of them left.
And the other story, Uncle, if you can, because a lot of folks are GAN followers from India and learning or whatever. And if you can tell them the story that when you went to meet, and was it Jim Twentyman, I think?
Jim Twentyman and I worked together at Drexel, Burnham, Lambert. Okay. And Jim was a really big aficionado of GAN, and he was working with Jerry Baumring over at the foundation or Investment Center bookstore. And they kept telling me how great, he was and everything. And we were, I had a big clientele at Drexel. One of them was a private investigator, Dan Pope. He was a really Damon Runyon type character, a really rough guy. And, but made him a lot of money trading gold. So he sort of owed me a favor. And I said, can you find out something about this guy? And in about a week, he came back and he said, yeah, he gave me his estate. He said he left about $250,000 in liquid assets. He had a beautiful home and a big, he had a Packard automobile. He died in 1954. Packards were really big back then. And then he had a yacht called a Coffee Bean, which was a fishing boat, about a 50 or 60 footer, very nice boat. So he left about $500,000, which was a lot of money back in 1954. That was nothing about it. But he had 3 children. He had a daughter and 2 sons. One son was a bond broker at Dean Witter in New York. I spoke to him. The other son was a dentist in South Carolina or North Carolina. It's been so long I can't remember. It was one of the Carolinas. And I spoke to him, and they told us about their father, that he was a workaholic. He worked on the 3rd floor of the house, traveled whenever he wanted to. They did very few vacations together. He was basically a workaholic. He was a 33rd degree Mason. He was very philanthropic. He gave money to the poor and charities and stuff. And but the thing was, his daughter disliked her father so much she wouldn't even talk to me. So he screwed up one of the three kids. The other two were okay, but the girl didn't like him at all. But that's all I know. And he never had anywhere. The boys told me that he never had any 55 million. You hear these stories about how he had $100 million in the Bahamas bank. They didn't have those banks back then. Those banks didn't start till in the late 60s. It's when those banks down in the Cuba, or not in Cuba, but in the Caribbean and stuff started to get popular. You know, so that was all a bunch of baloney. But he was a brilliant man, no question about it. He did all this stuff without a computer. My God, what he could do with a computer now? Woo! Holy moly, guacamole.
And also, Uncle, was it you and I think Jim Twentyman, or was it Jim Twentyman or Lambert Fellow? You went and picked up, was it?
Yeah. What happened was I was at Drexel Burnham, and one of my accounts was Bobby Jones. He and his wife, what was her name? Starts as a very funny name. Really nice lady. Not Ruby, something like Ruby. But I'll think of it in a second. Anyway, he was my customer, and he came down to visit me in 1980. And I was really big in the Gartley book. And he saw that book, and he said, what can we possibly, reprint it? And so they went to the state of Gartley. And believe me, it was a disputed estate. It was really strong up, but there was still one attorney that had part of it. And so they were able to get the rights to reprint the book. The book was originally $1,200 and $1,500 in 1937, but Bobby printed it for $150 with all the charts. I mean, it's an incredible piece of literature if you want to get it with all the charts. It goes back, does everything through the 20s and 30s. And of course, when he died, that was it. But he was the number one technical guy on Wall Street during those years. They came to him for information. That's why he was a friend of Wyckoff, Schaubacher, all these different guys that he knew. He knew them all. So he did quite a bit of work. But that's how he did it. But then what happened was after they started doing the Gann stuff, and with the Lambert Gann stuff, he said, well, if I can do the same with Gartley, he tried to track the Gann stuff out. Well, there was no Gann heirs left. The only person left was Gann had a company called Lambert Gann, okay? But Lambert was still alive. And so Lambert said, well, this stuff ain't worth a damn. And he had two basically warehouses filled with stuff that filled two moving vans. And I think Billy paid $50,000 for the whole thing. And they took it to Pomeroy, Washington, from Florida all the way up to Pomeroy, Washington. And there were 5 or 6 people waiting to go through that stuff. And he charged 20. I didn't go, but he charged quite a bit for going over it for a week. So Twentyman stayed there for a week, went through all the stuff, and there was nothing there that Jim said I couldn't figure it out. He said he said a lot of charts, and he did a lot of astrology, but he never had any clues or any of that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on that stuff anyway. Okay, makes sense.
And also, if you can say a bit about astrology, obviously, Uncle Ali, yeah.
Oh boy, one of the things on my bucket list is someday I would like to have the TV stations have a whole segment on financial astrology. Now, it isn't going to come from me, I can promise you that, because I can only scratch the surface. I'm just an old country boy. But when you guys got like Shane Smolian that's out there, he's the guy you should get as a guest, because he wrote a book with me. He basically wrote the book and we published it together, but he really knows his stuff backwards and forwards. And he's proven to me without a shadow of a doubt that there's some real serious stuff going on here with the astrology. So that's the guy. But J.P. Morgan had his own personal astrologer called Evangeline Adams. She died on the week of the high of 1929 in September. She died in the last week of August. She died. Market topped on September 3rd. She was warning J.P. Morgan of a big coming break in the market, and I don't know, he was out of the market, so he must have learned something. But Morgan was really into it. And then what happened was she had a library that Norm Winsky bought her library.
Yep. Yeah,
and, there's another guy you should have on because he knows astrology really well. Yep. He's good at it.
Uncle, Uncle, you'll have to twist his arm, and we will grab him and kidnap him and bring him here.
No, I'm not gonna twist anybody's arm. I do simple things. I rely on this A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
I know that. That's all I need to know.
And the other
And-
gentleman we're mentioning in astrology is, our Bill Sorabi.
Bill Cerubi over in Vienna, Austria. He's very good too. Yeah, he writes a great letter called Cycles Research out of Vienna, Austria. Bill Meridian. He's very good. Very good. He's as good as anybody.
True. And a gentleman when he speaks.
Yes, he's a gentleman for sure.
When he speaks, true.
And Larry, what do you think about Jim Simons?
Oh, Renaissance Research. Yeah, sure. I've heard of him. I've never met him, but he's had a really rough year. I don't know if you know this or not, but they've had a tremendous drawdown in his algorithmic trading stuff. So I don't know what they've changed or anything, but it worked for years and years, and he made millions of dollars. Hold on just a second. That's probably that's my broker. Now I'll get back to him in a minute. He don't need to call me. No, just wait. Hold on a second. Stephen, I'm doing a little webinar right now. Can I call you back in a little bit? No. It'll be a little while. I was friends from all over the world, and we're just chatting here. They're listening to all my lies. All right, I'll call you in a little bit, okay? Yeah, bye.
Renaissance is in drawdown right now.
That's how many times my phone has rung today. Once.
Brilliant. And Uncle, the other one, if you can say a little bit of snippets about your dear friend Bryce Gilmore and our Mark Douglas.
Okay, Mark passed away about 5 years ago. He and I worked together here in this office where he wrote the book, Trading in the Zone. By far the best psychology guy in the whole business, and I use his stuff every day. I recommend that book highly, Trading in the Zone. Bryce probably taught more about how the markets move than anybody I ever met. He's over in Australia. He's not in good health. He lost his eyesight a few years ago. And he still sells his Wave Trader program. It's still one of the best out there, but he doesn't trade anymore. And but he's a brilliant guy, good friend, and he really knows the markets. He studied GAN quite a bit too. He's probably one of the better GAN guys out there. But his stuff is really far superior to GAN because it's based on these numbers of sacred geometry and all this stuff, and that's why it's so much better.
And Uncle, I know because you are very humble, but just to because these folks read books or download from everywhere, and I was telling a few folk that I think Linda Ransky, Constance Brown, they were all your students, yes?
Constance Brown was, but not Linda Ransky. I know Linda very well, but she was not a student of mine.
Leslie Duflas and also Hema Reddy.
Oh yeah, Hema, her father.
Hema,
I spent a week with their father. He's from India, and he was in internal medicine in New Jersey. And I went up and I spent a whole week with them there. I really enjoyed it. She was just a little girl, and she ended up going to my same college in Indiana. She ended up going to Indiana University, and now she does a pretty good job with her little website and stuff. It's not little anymore, but she's pretty good. She's a smart cookie.
Yes.
Larry, there was Larry Williams.
Yes, there's a class act. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
he's a class act.
Really?
Oh, anybody that says anything bad about Larry Williams, you better talk to me because I've known him 53 years, and I spent more money with him than anybody else. And we became good friends over the years. But I still chat with him at least once every 2 weeks. He's skiing up in Montana right now, but Colorado. But he lives down in the Caribbean, and he's a class act. That boy knows what he's doing, and he's smart.
He won a few competitions, right?
Oh, that was back in the old days. Yeah, you don't want to hear competitions. Back in the old days when we did this, the competition started in the mid '80s. Yeah, and I would enter these competitions. I never won one. The closest I ever got was second. I got second a couple times. But the guy that they did not want to enter the competition was Frank Tauscher of the Super Traders Almanac. And Frank, not only most people, they played with funny money. They'd give you $100,000 to trade and then see how you did. Frank wouldn't do that. He put up his own $100,000 and traded real money.
Wow.
And when he won, when he went in every contest he went into, he won. But he would make anywhere between 200 and 400% more than the second place person. And I happened to be that second place person once. And Frank and I were very, very good friends. And he liked some of the stuff that I did. But he was a great guy. He was 59 years old. He was standing on the corner with his son where they lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And his son was talking to him. And he turned to look at his father, and his father was laying on the ground. He had an aortic aneurysm. That's basically his heart exploded. And he died. He didn't even get to finish his sentence. That's how quickly he died.
Oh my God.
And he was only 59 years old. And there was a really strong Baptist religion, very, very holy gentleman, very, very philanthropic. And I think it was 87. I forget one year that Christ Church had that big earthquake. And we put a bunch of Larry Williams and I and Frank Tauscher and Jake Bernstein. There were about 6 of us, and we put a seminar together and videoed it, and then we sold it. And I think we made like $67,000 for the people over at Christ Church. We did it for free, but that's what we collected off of it, which was a pretty good deal. Anyway,
one more thing. What do you think about pitchfork?
Pitchforks, they're good. Yeah, I like pitchforks. I got a deal here somewhere. Where is that damn thing? I got it on here somewhere. Hold this. I got it. Where is it? I think it's on one of these.
Uncle Larry, this tool that you are using, I don't know anything about this. Somebody asked before. Can you use?
There's the pitchforks right there. That's the Andrews pitchforks right there. See. I don't use it anymore, but John Hill and I went to visit Alan Andrews because his pitchforks were getting exciting, back in the early '80s, and so we went down to Florida. He was a widower. He lived in a nice little house, never traded, just drew pitchforks. And John said, "This makes good sense because I can't draw them on these things because I don't use them, but they can be done." And I'll try it one more time, but believe me, it's not going to be easy because you have to get the right spot. And see, this is what you got to do. You got to get to the right spot here. And then you got to be able to, you can see if you take these, look at this from high to here, watch this, what will happen. Because it's the same thing I do. Crap, you can't do it that way. It doesn't clone like I wanted it to do. Let me see if I can clone it. I can, just a second. Now I got to find the starting place. Yeah, I can't do it. Here, what I'm trying to show you here, this is not good. Let me get rid of this. What I'm trying to show you is this distance between here and here is going to be right to there, okay? Because that's what you're doing when you're splitting it. You just keep splitting it and splitting it and splitting it. So what you're looking at is an harmonic. You're looking at harmonic. You got 2 harmonics here. You've got one right here. Okay, that's one. And if that's the case, there should be one here. If that's the case, there should be one there. And that's right down. The last one should be right about there. So that's what you're doing is you're splitting this so that you can see the harmonic that's there. See? That's really what that pitchfork is doing. But there are people that are good with pitchforks. And believe me, Wyckoff used pitchforks. And they're good. They work good. They don't work for me because I keep mine as simple as possible. I want to do A, B, C, D. That's all I want to do. AB equals CD.
And Uncle Larry, somebody asked, the tools that you're using in this charting platform, are they available in TradingView? I don't know.
No, yeah. Most of them are available in TradingView. TradingView is probably the best system out there now with all the different things it has. Yeah, those tools are there.
And Uncle Larry, is it true? Was it the Russians or whatever created one called the Pesavento patterns?
Well, actually, the one that was Ensign Software.
Okay.
Then I had 2 students from Russia that did it. That they made it into I think it was called MT4 MetaTrader.
Yes, yeah, MT4. Yeah,
they did that. But the original one was the 2 guys that owned Ensign, John and Howard Arrington. I went to Utah to do a one-day seminar with them, a trading seminar live, because people were complaining nobody can do this. And he said, well, sit down with a professional, or they call me professional. This was 2005, so I traded all day on a Friday, and I happened to be really lucky that they had a really good day, and that made some excitement. But they asked me beforehand Thursday night, is there any tool in here that you'd like to have? I said, yeah, I'd like to have a tool that if I hit a button, it would give me all the ratios automatically. And that's what they did. They put that in. That's what these Pesavento patterns, they draw them in automatically for me. But, these things are so easy nowadays that, you don't even need that. It's better to do them by hand anyway, because I don't use it. You see, I basically, hold on just a second. I got to get rid of it. I just use my common sense, and I draw the lines in myself. That's what I do. This helps me draw it. That just see all that. That's just drawing in the ABCD pattern. That's all that doing, But that's the whole basis of everything. This is what Mandelbrot taught. This is what's in the Floor Trader's Handbook that teaches you. By God, this stuff does work. For Christ's sake, how come I can't see it? If you look at it long enough, you're gonna be able to see it. It's not a rocket science thing. I mean, it isn't.
And the other thing, Uncle Larry, today we were, you were going to try and see to get Stan Hardy and our Shane, yeah?
No chance.
Next
Stan
time,
was too busy, and so was Shane. You have to ask them yourself. Just email them, tell them you're a friend of mine, lie to them, and let them know that you.
I'll bribe them, Uncle Larry. Proper Indian style. I'll bribe them.
Tell them, yeah, like you do me. Tell them I give them my. Fact is, I have to talk to Stan today in an hour, and I'll make sure that that he, if you get a call from him, to
please,
be.
Yeah, and Kalari, if you remember, if you can ask him, his old newsletters or whatever, if he can just send us a few or whatever to other.
You have to request those from him. The only way you can just go and request them.
We'll do so.
Okay.
So anybody, any questions, final things or whatever, because Uncle Larry has been at this all night, no sleep and everything, and done it for us.
Well, I mean, I tell you, I enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, it's not that I'm tired. Hell, I'm 82 years old, and I've been doing this since I started last night at 11. I've been going 13 hours straight through, other than having breakfast, and I still love it. I made a couple of bucks, which is good. So, and I lost a couple of bucks too.
I'm developing my bad habits, same as you. I went to bed at around 3 o'clock in the morning, and 6 o'clock I've been up and not blinked an eye. So excited that Uncle Larry is coming today.
And Larry, did you say that the Renaissance is in a drawdown right now?
Oh yeah, big one.
Big one. Wow.
Yeah, he last year he lost 50%, and they stopped trading for 6 months or a year. I don't know if they're still doing it or not. See, there's three or four different companies that are really big at this. D.E. Shaw, and then Renaissance Capital with Jim Simons. But Simons is a mathematician. And, do you realize that all of this stuff now is being affected by algorithmic trading? These guys know these numbers. Believe me, they know these numbers. Mm-hmm. So when they trigger, that's what you see these markets react, real violently. That they know these numbers.
Yeah.
And Uncle Larry, somebody is asking, Rajnita from India is asking, any views on what the Fed is doing, going to do tomorrow? Have they rung you already, is what I should say. Has the Fed rung you already and told you what they're going to do, sir?
Yes, someone actually, this is one of the few times they called me this morning and told me ahead of time what they're going to do. But I can't tell you, because then I'd have to kill you.
I'm ready, Uncle. I've got it. I've got everything ready. I'm ready.
Hey, listen, even if they told me what they were going to do, I wouldn't believe them, and then the market might not believe them. So it don't mean anything. The Fed is all bullshit. Excuse my language, but that's what they are.
That's what I tell in my limited knowledge or everyone, that news is noise. It's only a catalyst, short-lived.
Yeah. We've been doing this an hour and a half now. You think you could let me go?
Uncle Larry, we all, proper Indian style, give you the blessing. Thank you so much.
Salam, blessing that you have, okay?
Thank you so much.
You betcha.
Uncle Larry, one question.
Yes.
Who is your favorite student?
My favorite student? It's hard to say, but the two of them, and they're both online tonight. Zarif and Attila. Well, I have to say both of them are pretty close there because I tell you, no one was harder to teach than Attila. I mean, I swear to God, I love this guy. And then listen,
me.
no. You were easy compared to him. Let me tell you, I had to fight with him. You know, he asked for his money back a dozen times, and I said, I don't give money back. You're either going to learn this or you're just going to lose the money. So he kept finally doing it until he finally got it right.
And the confession, Attila is here. You used to beat him from the U.S. side. I was beating him from the Britain side.
I remember. I remember this. Thank you. You're one of the reasons why he is successful. I remember that now. Thanks for reminding me. Yes.
And I even remember I talked to you and I was going to Pakistan. I said, I'm going specially to Istanbul to see Attila, which I did.
Haji, you know, Uncle Larry was asking me all the time, keep throwing. And I was saying, why? I know how to throw.
See, he was so good, Zarif, he was so good at seeing where the market was going, but he couldn't understand why. Well, why did it do this? Why? And then finally, after a while, you don't have to know why.
Yeah.
Just do it and just keep probing it, because he had a really good inquisitive mind to find the patterns. He could find the patterns. He just didn't know what to do when point D came.
Yeah.
And after he realized, well, I don't really have to know much after that. And then he started to turn around. So
then I understood why you. Sorry. Go ahead, Haji.
Sorry, Attila on computers is like a master whiz kid, and he sees everything, goes within blinks. And I said to him, get a piece of pen and paper and just throw on it and keep it absolutely simple. Yeah.
You know what? After I see the light, he asked me, what does market tell you? And I said, nothing. Okay, something like that. And then after I see something, then I understood. I got why he named the name of the book, Trade What You See.
Yeah.
Not what you think. You don't want to think. You just want to see.
Yeah, it's like I was telling similar paraphrased. I was telling Attila, we all have two eyes, but we have a different vision. You need to develop your inner eye to see it now.
Exactly.
It's what you see after you think you know everything that counts. That's the main thing. Listen, gentlemen, you contact Stan Harley, and he will. I'm sure he'll send you some letters, and also Shane. Maybe he'll do it. I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay, boys, take it easy. May God bless. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. See you later.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Yeah. So,
Haji, you just end the stream. Click end the stream.
Okay, so my mouse is going. Okay, bye everybody, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm happy today I did not have to use this on myself or everybody as well.
For Turkish followers, teşekkürler arkadaşlar katıldığınız için. Haji Discord'da Cool Pips olarak da takip edebilirsiniz. Haji, thank you so much.
No, thank you all for coming, and I hope today you got benefit and value and even gifts and everything. And really, Uncle Larry did it for free. You should at least send a testimony or whatever, or say thank you or a comment or whatever. And what he sends me, I will send all the things that he sends. I will give it to everybody as always.
Haji, just put it in your Discord channel. In your Discord and ask them to join there. Then, we can share. So we are going to edit the description of this video. Then you will be able to find the link to join his Discord channel as well.
And not only that, the future seminars. Shane is going to do one, Stan Ali is going to do one, Jim 21 is going to do one. Brian. Brian is the only living person there from Wyckoff. Yeah. I know him very well. He's a very old man. He will come and do it as well. The proper Wyckoff.
Okay, I will do one for you.
Not one. I make you do one every time you come, Haji. You are lucky today. Me and you are both spectators today.
No, today I was one of the moderators, and I was here as your guest and friend. You are
my brother. You are my sultan.
Exactly, you are my sultan as well. Ustad. Arkadaşlar, just for your information, yes, Larry is my teacher, but I learned a lot of things from Uncle Zarif, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No, you don't need to thank me. We are brothers, you know. And if you can tell your Turkish brothers, I am Turkish. I look Indian, but I am Turkish.
Yeah, he's Turkish. O aynı zamanda Türk kökenli kendisi. Türk kökenli. Yeah. Thank you very much, Haji.
Okay. Everyone,
Thank
Allah
you. Thank you,
Hafiz.
Haji. Uncle, sorry for that.
Subratri, and happy Holi to everyone as well.
Yeah, bravo.
Okay.
See you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Allah
see you.
Hafiz.
Yes.
Okay.
Allah Hafiz.
Bye. I'm hitting 1, 2, 3, end.
Bye.
And